CNN recently made a bit of an oopsie during an interview on State of the Union. So let me just let me show that to you. All right. Do you notice anything? You notice anything that's off about this? Maybe near his name? Yeah. That's him being labeled as a Republican. So now look, this happened during a weirdo joint interview with a Republican, Lisa Murkowski, whom Joe Manchin gave a full-throated endorsement of for her re-election bid. Take a look.
I can't help but notice that Senator Murkowski.
I'm endorsing my dear friend Lisa Murkowski. Alaska could only be so lucky to have her continue to serve them.
Thank you.
She knows I feel that way too, very strongly. Anything I've said is hypocritical to basically work with a person day in and day out, and then when they're in cycle, you're supposed to be against them because they have an R or a D by their name. If these are good people I've worked with, we have accomplished a lot, why in the world wouldn't I want to work with them and continue to work with them? Doesn't matter whether I'm a Democrat and they're Republican or vice versa. They've been my dear friends, and we get a lot accomplished, and I think the country has fared better with us working together than not.
Senator Murkowski.
There used to be a time when we did that.
I know.
Stevens and Inouye, legendary.
I'm all for you.
They would go and campaign and win in other states.
Oh, Stevens from Alaska and Inouye from Hawaii.
yeah.
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 Would campaign for each other.
Yeah.
Feel the love. There's so much love there. I mean, this oh, Lisa Murkowski. Oh, I work with you. You're so good. I mean, I get along with you so well because we both serve the same people. No. Now, look, again, you saw the mislabeling here. I don't think that's an error. It's more like, I don't know, rain on your wedding day, a free ride when you've already paid, or some good advice that you just didn't take. I think you get it. It's ironic. So, look, my problem here, to get serious, isn't so much that he's saying we should be able to reach across the aisle and work together to get things done. Well, I mean, yes, that's what we're supposed to do. I guess they're supposed to do. But the problem is that they're not doing that. They're not doing that. And when they do, it's not to benefit us. Because, they don't care about us. But I'm getting ahead of myself. All right? Now, as it stands, there is no way Biden's agenda is going to pass the Republican Party. If that agenda involves helping working people in any way, shape, or form, the Republicans are going to be against it. Simply put. Why? Because, well, of course, playing politics as they do, they want to avoid giving Joe Biden any kind of policy win that helps regular working people. Because, it turns out they want to win midterms. And they want to win the presidency in 2024. So I don't think Joe Manchin seems to understand how politics works. But I think he actually does. But anyway, look, let me give you some examples of how the bipartisanship that we see in this country is basically there only for the benefit of the donors. Bipartisan infrastructure is a great example. That was a massive handout to corporate America. Huge. The American Rescue Plan, also massive handout to the wealthy, even though there were people that got some very much needed relief in the form of a one-time stimulus check, as well as unemployment benefits. The only reason people got those is because corporations were concerned that their stocks would plummet. Once they got that bill passed, the stocks began to stabilize, and guess what? The businesses, and we've seen this, billions of dollars, they took that money and they pumped it back into their own stocks. They bought their own stock back. And then, once they were able to do that and make billions off of it, they then pushed to cancel unemployment benefits as much as and as soon as possible. That's what happened. That right now is the nature, the true nature of the current bipartisanship. When you think about it, though, it is about D's and R's, but it's not about Democrats and Republicans. It's donations and return on investment. That's what our politics comes down to these days. Wealthy business interests made a massive investment in Joe Manchin and to keep the status quo. Just after his December announcement on Fox News that he said he wouldn't support Build Back Better, Joe Manchin just happened to receive $5,000 from a GOP billionaire, mega donor, and his wife to his political action committee. Weird how that works out. Very, very strange, isn't it? No, it's not strange. It's the greed. It's the corruption. But look, instead of getting things done, as Manchin claims, I'm in favor of getting things done. I'm getting things done. That's why I'm blocking things. Doesn't seem to make sense, right? But it does. Look, they're sitting in the way. He and Kyrsten Sinema, they're in the way of Build Back Better, despite, of course, giving massive concessions, the Democrats did, to Manchin and Sinema, stripping out and watering down its most popular provisions in order to bring the cost down to some arbitrary number that Joe Manchin thought was better. And then, when they get to that number, Joe Manchin moves the goalposts once again lower and lower. Look, originally Joe Manchin was open to $4 trillion in new spending. And then what happened? His donors came calling. And now, it's $1.7 trillion. By the way, all this is over 10 years. Over 10 years. It's still too much. And now the bill itself is dead, which is in line exactly with what the Republicans and the donors to both parties wanted. There is nothing more bipartisan in Washington today than defending the donors. And so believe me when I tell you, bipartisanship very much alive in Washington, D.C. right now. It just doesn't ever benefit you. It benefits the donors every single time. So it is no surprise to me that Manchin is endorsing Lisa Murkowski, and that, by the way, later on, she also endorsed him back. Because they both know exactly who they serve, and guess what? It ain't the people.